The digital world moves fast, but real growth comes from real conversations. This is e-Coffee with Experts, where marketers and founders share what's actually working in SEO, AI, and digital growth. Grab your coffee and fuel your mind as we chat with top minds about their wins, struggles, and lessons you won't find in a blog post. Brought to you by Digital Web Solutions, we bring real talk to help you grow your business, one episode at a time. Let's get started.
Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to your show, Coffee with Experts. This is your host, Ranmay here. And today we have Nick Rubright, the founder and CEO at Ranko Media with us. Hey, Nick, how's it going?
Hey, good. Good to be here. Thanks.
Lovely. Nick, before we move any forward, let's get to know the human behind the mic. Why don't you talk us through your journey a bit and also about your agency? What do you guys do? What do you guys specialize in? And we'll take it off from there.
Sure. Yeah. So I started doing SEO and marketing about 10 years ago when I was working on my own music streaming product. So I wanted to get musicians to upload their music to my platform. So I ran an SEO campaign to rank for things like music marketing and promote your music and stuff. And I ranked #1 for those and some competitive music promotion keywords. And I got musicians to upload music to the platform. Eventually, I shut down the platform and pivoted to an affiliate site where I made about $3,000 a month while I was in college. And that's how I paid for school. After that, I worked in an office for my uncle for a little bit and I hated it. So I quit doing office work. Like I didn't want to go into an office every day. You know what I mean? I wanted to have more flexibility in my work schedule. So I left that. I came back, drove for Uber. I played in a band for a little bit. And I started the agency 3 years ago. And we got to work with WebEx, Writer, Binance, Twilio, a bunch of large brands. And we specialize in digital PR, so getting clients featured on digital outlets, either for links or brand awareness, and full stack SEO, which includes the technical stuff, the content, and the link building.
Lovely. And then you mentioned quite a few big names there, Nick. How is it like working with such enterprise level clients, while staying lean and agile?
I like it because they don't have the same, intensity of expectations that smaller businesses do. I think that larger companies have better management, so they're better buyers of services like this because they kind of know how it works and they know what to expect coming in. And they have more realistic expectations on things.
They got time on their hands. They do not want their phones to be ringing like yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they have a realistic expectation of what's involved. And I think I think the thing is with bigger companies, they have more experienced managers and they know how to work with people better. So they know how to get more out of us as a team because of that experience versus a small business. They put a lot of pressure for results, which I think can be a hindrance to creativity. And creativity is the factor that drives success. So in my team, I like to find ways to encourage creativity, even if we fail or, even if we lose money or something breaks or whatever.
I understand. So, continuing on that, have you worked on short-term projects with clients wherein they have a very defined goal for a very short term, which kind of is a more like a task-oriented approach, not have much space for creativity, so to say. Have you worked on such projects? If yes, how is it different to the ones that you just mentioned?
Yeah, I think any of the short-term ones would be like building a website or creating content in a certain time frame. So some clients come to us to build a web platform. Like we built an STD testing platform where they could find an STD testing center in their area. And it had interactive tools, it had location pages and everything. That was about a 2 to 3 month build. So that was a shorter term project. And then we were done with the project. And then other clients, they'll want us to rewrite their whole website, and that's a very specific defined timeline and price associated with that. Versus something like SEO, it takes a year to see tangible results.
And going back to your music background, how it kind of shaped your understanding of digital engagement and user acquisition early on.
Yeah, I think I learned a lot of things building that because we were a no-name brand and people were still signing up, giving their email. They were even spending money on things. So I learned a lot about how, you have to attribute your sales to the source of traffic, right? So it's like people click on an ad and they convert it 3%. But if they click from search, they may convert it 10%, or referral traffic, it may be up to half convert because there's intent. There's different levels of intent behind the traffic. When someone's looking at an ad on social media, they're kind of just scrolling and they're like, oh, let me see, they're curious. They're not really in a buying stage, so lower conversions. But if someone's searching, they're looking specifically for your page basically, right? If they put a keyword in Google and find you and click, they're looking specifically for what you have to offer. So they're going to convert at a higher rate. And I've seen 10% from traffic to leads, in search. And referral traffic converts the highest in my experience. If you can get a referral click from, like a PR story or you're featured in a list, like if we're in like best link building agencies or something, that would convert higher than, paid or search traffic.
Lovely. And talking about search, how do you think, what impact has AI had on it? And how are you kind of adopting to it?
I get asked this a lot. The AI, I think there's two ways that it's impacting everyone. One is on the audience side, where audiences are using ChatGPT and AI tools to search for things instead of Google. So, when it comes to optimizing for those, there's not really many differences when it comes to AI versus SEO, like in terms of search, like AI tools versus Google and Bing and things like that, like traditional search engines. The differences would be things in like how your website is structured, but in general, you still, they look at links, from big brands like our media sites mentioning you, like your brand and linking to your website. And that's similar to how Google does it. And they look at the content on your website, again, similar to Google. So it's like if you chase the goal of user engagement on your content and links that point to you as, authoritative, if you chase links from authoritative websites in your industry that your customers are reading, those are the best ones. And then in terms of like using AI on the work end of SEO, on a technical level, we can rewrite some code and debug more efficiently. So that's helpful because we can have someone write a script in AI and the programmers are more efficient. In the content end, it hasn't really replaced humans entirely yet. Our process still leverages subject matter experts to draft the content, but with the help of AI tools. And then we still have an editor after the fact. And I get pitched AI content tools every day, and I get on calls with those guys because I'm like, well, I'm interested in helping someone build what I could buy, but I haven't yet found something that I want to buy as far as an AI tool that writes content. Because it's never like AI is like almost, it makes content based off of like a summary of the average, right? But if you're average, you're not going to be in the top three. You know what I mean? We want to be in the top three out of hundreds of pages. So we need to double down on that. And subject matter experts can put in things like, real experiences that they've had that are related to the content or things they've learned in very specific situations that they've been in, right? Like really personal things that they can add to the content to like help teach readers, And I think that's what can make the content go farther. And also graphics. I mean, adding graphics and screenshots and things like that helps. And AI hasn't been able to do that yet, where it's using like if you're giving someone a walkthrough of a software, you want to have the screenshots with like the arrows pointing to the buttons and stuff as you scroll through the content. And AI can't do that. So there's just certain things that you need a human for still that I haven't found a replacement for. On outreach, it's gotten a lot harder because everyone's sending AI emails. So there's more competition in the mailbox. So for us, we use AI a lot we use it in the same way to send emails, but it's really about building a system that like, is the email that you're sending meaningful to the prospect? Is it the right target? Are you pitching the right thing? And are you saying the right thing? Are kind of the three elements of that to win a pitch. For us, we go, if we're doing guest blogging, we do a lot of, we have our AI tool. We had to build our own system for that. So we have an AI tool that does research on recent trends and then writes an email to the site based on like what they're frequently publishing about. So we'll take what they're frequently publishing about. We use Perplexity to research trends because it's more real time than ChatGPT. And then we write an email with a content idea based on something that's currently trending in the news or being talked about a lot on the internet. I know that's a long answer, but I hope that's what you were looking for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. You have worked with quite a few big names, like I mentioned earlier. Give us your favorite client story, Nick. Client, which has been close to your heart.
I think we work with Soundtrack, which is Spotify's business, like music for business branch. And I think that's close to me because I'm a musician. And they're a great client. Like they are very, like they kind of just know how this works already. And they're like just hiring us to do it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I don't have to do so much teaching and I can just get to work. And the calls, when I have a call with that client, it's not like a show me your work kind of call. It's a let's look at what we have so far and strategize going forward kind of call, which is exciting to me. I don't just want to be like feeling like I'm in math class showing my, steps of here's how I came to my answer. Like I don't want that's I feel like I teach my clients when I'm doing that. And I'm like, well, this isn't really a consulting gig. It's more like I'm supposed to do the work, So when I have a client that lets me do the work and I can talk to them about strategy when we're on these calls. Like I'll have a call with them probably once or twice a month, and that's the case with most clients, but I think a lot of clients just kind of they want an update of like, where did my money go? Versus this client is more like, okay, what happened out of your work? And then we discuss ways back and forth of like, even if it's a failure, like even if it's not going well, what do we pivot to? What are the next steps? And they do a really good job of using my team's knowledge to their business's advantage because they're such good leaders in that way. And another client I worked with that was similar was Writer, and we grew them to 1 million visitors a month in a year. And they just had great leadership. So it's like, I guess I'm saying this because the thing is, like, you don't hire an agency or team or person even and just say, okay, I'm paying you, so get me results. It's a team effort. It's like you have to be a good client as well as the agency being a good team doing their part. Like both things matter. Because you have to give them direction still for your business, It's like we're good at the SEO stuff, but they know their customer and their users, and they have information on that front that we just don't have access to because their sales team's on calls and sending emails and stuff. They know what their customers are asking. So extracting that information from them is valuable. Or, just creative thinking. Like they may come up with like we may have a content idea or something and they don't quite like it, but like we have a back and forth discussion and come to an idea that we're both happy with. And I think it's like if we're both happy with it, those are the ones that pay off.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so Nick, finally, before we let you go, a piece of advice for, the budding entrepreneurs trying to make a mark in the SEO digital marketing space.
Yeah. So if it's other agency owners,
Mm-hmm.
that's a tough question because it's like we kind of have to do the same thing that we would do for our clients, like we have to do our own marketing. So, but I think in terms of owning an agency, the biggest thing I've learned is retention is so much more valuable than new customers. Because like when you figure out lead generation, you kind of like, okay, I figured it out. Now I just do my work. Like I do the cadence of things. I send my emails or whatever. Like for us, it's like, okay, we run the ads, I get on the call, I close X% of deals and they amount to this much per month. But then if you keep the deals longer, then your customer lifetime value is bigger and you can be more profitable off of your marketing, but also spend more on marketing, and grow faster. From that perspective, it's like always looking. I know, the three things clients care about is communication, on-time and accurate delivery, and business outcomes.
Yeah.
So if you just do exactly what you say you're going to do, when you say you're going to do it, they're happy. If you keep them updated when things change, or even like with monthly reports, and show them all your work, they're happy. I hate the show your work part, but that's just the reality of this job. You got to show your work and show everything, like as much detail as you can, because it makes it look like more work for one thing, but it's also like helpful for the client to see everything that goes into this.
Yes.
It showcases the value of your efforts. And then business results is like, you're not going to win for every client, but when you lose and things aren't going well, it's really important to like double down on learning in that case. Like what pivots do you have to make and what do you have to do to make things result in a positive business outcome for your customers? And faster, right? Of course, they're going to care about speed. I mean, I care about speed too, because if you can grow their business more, then they'll spend more. If they're spending $5,000 a month with you and then they're suddenly making 15, they're going to be like, dang, I should put more money into this, right? Whatever marketing channel it is, if it's advertising, if it's SEO, if it's social media, like whatever it is, it's like chase the tangible business outcome of revenue for your customers. And I think that ultimately, like at my agency, we're only focused on business outcomes as like 90% of the time I spend on things. And anytime I'm doing analysis, where I spend my time is on my customers, versus chasing new ones. And you have to chase
you
new
cannot
ones.
have a leaking bucket. Yeah, absolutely. I get your point.
Yeah, exactly. Like you'll churn customers faster than you get them sometimes. And it's like, that's such a problem in agencies, They're like, oh shit, I lost one. Now I got to go dig for more, especially younger agencies. That's still a problem for us sometimes, We'll lose big clients and then we'll be like, damn, we got to go make up like 3 clients to make up the revenue for this one or something, right? Versus the guy that's paying $5,000 a month and stayed with us for 2 years. I mean, that's like the most valuable customer we can have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You need to pick your battles. Perfect, Nick. This has been a great conversation. Once again, thank you so much for taking out time to do this with us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. It was enjoyable. Thanks.